get back on the winning track against the Rochester Lancers. Soccer. The long road trip continues for the Edmonton Drillers. Tonight, Rochester. I'm Al McCann with Brian Rice. And Brian, I'm looking forward to tonight's game to see if Timo Liakowski's bunch can jump back off that heartbreaking loss to the Cosmos in overtime.
Oh, I think they will, Al. They played well in New York. They gave them a real hard game. It was an overtime goal that beat them, so I'm looking forward to them carrying on the momentum into the playoffs.
And you know, they did get 2 bonus points despite the loss. And they do still have a shot at California in first place.
Oh, they have a good chance at California's first division place because they basically had them in the last game of the season. You can see Edmonton's remaining games right now. We go to Portland after the Rochester game, and then we California to play New England. Seattle is our game then at home, whereas California are playing Vancouver. And, of course, the big game of the season for us could well be the final game when California come to Edmonton.
And wouldn't that be a dandy if it was going to decide first place?
Oh, a tremendous game.
But right now, despite the fact, Timo Liakowski's squad have a heck of a playoff shot, and they're playing well both offensively and defensively.
Oh, there's no question. They're playing well as a unit. In that first 45 minutes at New York, they played a real good game offensively and defensively. In the second half, a little bit of a defensive shell. It ended up costing them the game, actually.
Well, Pertti Elia played great despite the loss, and we're looking forward to another top performance. We'll be back with the opening. Live from Rochester, New York, it's Hollander Stadium and NASL soccer action. The Edmonton Drillers and the Rochester Lancers. Al McCann greeting you along with Brian Rice on a rather nice evening here in New York State after a rather overcast day. And what an exciting place it's been. What with the PGA Golf Championship wrapping up at the beautiful Oak Hill Golf Course today in Rochester, and the man Jack Nicklaus winning it very easily. Now it's soccer action, and both teams hurting a little going into tonight's game. The Edmonton Drillers have some injuries, but so have the Rochester Lancers. Looking at the Drillers, they're still going with Pertti Elia in goal. On the back line, they'll have veteran John Webb and Mike Sweeney. Bernie James filling in for the injured Peter Nogley, who is out tonight, and Dwight Lodevegas in his usual position. Klaus Heinlein in the middle of the midfield, flanked by Andre Ostrom and Ron Klinkenberg. Up front, Eddie Kirchner with Jan Guzens and Henk Tenkata. For the Rochester Lancers, they are without their big gun Branko Segota tonight. He's out with an ankle injury, but they are fielding a team that is backed up by Emmanuel Schwartz in goal. You can see the rest of the lineup. The center forward is Balon, and they are also going to have a lot of work, I'm sure, from the big left forward, Stojanovic. Stojanovic has 10 goals on the season, a total of 26 points. He's the all-time Lancers scoring leader, 50 goals and 134 points. Citroni is the middle of the midfield, and the Rochester Lancers are attired in yellow uniforms, gold actually, tops with blue pants, and the Drillers wearing their white uniforms. The referee tonight, Tony Evangelista, the linesman Philip Clark and Michael Long, and as I pointed out, the weather, very nice. The wind has abated now. The temperature probably about 70 degrees, just about perfect for soccer action here in Rochester. Game 3 of a 4-game road trip for the Drillers. So far, they're 1-1. They won in San Diego. They lost a tough game in New York against the Cosmos, bowing in overtime, and now they would very much like to make it 2 out of 3 prior to moving on to Portland to wrap up the trip. Number 8, Klaus Heinlein. Number 9, Eddie Kirchner. And Brian, except that the field's a little hard, stadium, Hollander.
It's not bad, Al. It's a little bit narrow. It's 66 yards wide, 120 long, so hopefully with the length of the field, it'll take away some of the narrowness and help them move around a little bit.
The Rochester Lancers have a record of 11 wins, 16 losses, 99 points. Not a really good year. They are 8-6 here in their home park, Hollander Stadium. This is 22, Damek Satovsky. He loses the ball, and the Edmonton Drillers start to mount an attack. It'll be interesting to see how they can operate without big Peter Nogley in that lineup, and Drew Ferguson also missing. So the Drillers are short-staffed tonight, and they're going to need yeoman service from the likes of Bernie James, and also from the attackers, the likes of Henk Tenkata and Jan Guzens. This is Mike Sweeney doing a good job there against number 19, Mepham. but the ball picked up finally by Satevsky. Satevsky advancing it for the Rochester Lancers. Number 5 is Pablo Centroni. He gets the ball to 15, Pat Escoli. Escoli dropping it off for Tuxa, and it's picked off by Ostrom, who moves it to Ron Klinkenberg. Klinkenberg, number 3, moving the ball upfield. I asked Timo Liakowski, the coach of the Drillers, if he was concerned tonight about a potential letdown after that big effort against the New York Cosmos.
I am, because it's very difficult to come back from a performance such as we had against the Cosmos and then be really sharp at the next game, because you still have the lingering doubts in your mind that you perhaps could have or even should have won the game in New York. So I think our biggest problem right now is a mental problem, an attitude problem, and it's nothing conscious, it's subconscious, and it really happens to every team, I would guess, that comes from a similar situation. In a lot of ways, I wish we could have been blown out, because then I think people would come out and try to prove a point, or would have won a game, then it would be much easier.
Timo Liakowski with comments about the importance of tonight's game and how his team is likely to react. That pileup you saw on the sideline involved Mike Stoyanovich, the 10-goal scorer, number 7 of the Rochester Lancers. Right now play pretty well in the midfield as the Drillers organize. This is Guzens being marked by Stavesky. High line, this is Webb. Webb moving it in. We talked to Timo Liakowski also about the fact that he's missing 2 of his better players and has to go with a different roster tonight.
I think Peter has now proven without any doubt that he's certainly the best sweeper in the league, in my mind anyway, and certainly won the battle with Beckenbauer, so he's very key thing to our attack. Defensively, we can play well enough without him, but certainly in our attack he has added another dimension, and the absence of Drew means that now we have to change people at 2 or 3 positions instead of just 1. And he's a hard worker, and he has done well for us, and I think the problem is that we might lose some of the continuity and cohesiveness of our play, which we have had lately.
This is Andre Ostrom attacking now for the Edmonton Drillers. Puts the ball through to Tinkata, back to Klinkenberg at the 35. Klinkenberg with a long shot. Relatively easy save for Emmanuel Schwartz, number 24. Schwartz has a 1.94 goals against average and 2 shutouts. He is Israeli. He's played in 9 international games for Israel. A 22-year-old. He's 6'1", 190 pounds, and he drives the ball down to the midfield where it's picked off by the great Stoyanovich. Stoyanovich, number 7, getting it across. Long shot taken by Tuxa, wide of the goal, and Perdi Alaya, who played awfully well, Brian, I thought, in the game against the Cosmos.
He did, Ali. He was very good, as you know, with these long, low, hard balls that New York Cosmos was shooting at him. He didn't allow any rebounds whatsoever, and very safe goalkeeping.
Well, we have corner kick time now. Corner kick for the Rochester Lancers. These are always dangerous. Hollander Stadium seats 20,000 capacity, but it is much less than that tonight. The Rochester Lancers have been drawing relatively poorly and only average around 8,000 fans. This is Stoyanovich. Stoyanovich clears the ball in front, but it's controlled by the drummer.
That was a foul for pushing off by Stoyanovich. The ball was coming down. Mike Sweeney was going for the ball. Before it came down, he just knocked Mike away from the ball.
We might mention Score with Safeway back in operation on this, our final telecast of the regular league season for the Drillers. And our first contestant in the first 15 minutes of tonight's game is Mrs. Adele Bornia of 13452 61st Street. $125 worth of Safeway groceries if the Drillers manage to score in the first 15 minutes here at Hollander Stadium in Rochester. Schwartz clears the ball off to the right side. Number 19 is Meffam, Dennis Meffam, an American player. Ball back to number 5, Centroni. He's the Argentinian defender. Drillers, John Guzens. The high line to Guzens. Guzens, the high line, doing a nice combination work here. Back to Tinkata. Tinkata leaves the ball for Klinkenberg. This is Ludovegas advancing. Ludovegas tries to get it through, almost does for Heinlein. Then a long shot taken is way wide.
That was a try on the volley by Eddie Kirshner there. The ball was bouncing right in front of him. He just took it on the left foot. Hit the ball wide, unfortunately.
And Kirshner injured his ankle on the play, and that would really be bad news for the Drillers. Kirshner, of course, the top man on the team in scoring, has 14 goals and 10 assists for 38 points. The fine German center forward has a record already for one season for the Drillers with 14 goals. He, as a matter of fact, leads the Drillers in television appearances, too. He has 8 goals and 4 assists in the games we've had on television. We've had 15 games on TV this year. The Drillers have won 8, lost 7. This is number 16, Heinlein, leaving it for Sweeney. A given goal to Heinlein, to Webb. This is Flinkenberg. Flinkenberg checked by Tuxa. Foul called, and Drillers will have possession. Drillers in their road white uniforms tonight. The field looks to be quite soft, but actually the reverse is the case. It is quite hard.
Well, the grass is long as well, which slows the ball down, particularly on the wings. If you hit a low ball on the wings, the grass will grab hold of it, hold it back on you.
This is Webb, putting it across in front. Tenkata running for it. Tenkata well marked on the play. Leaves it for Klinkenberg, a give and go. Tenkata in the corner. There's his cross. Nice save by Schwartz, who makes a diving move. The Drillers are off tomorrow for Portland, Oregon, where they will complete their road schedule for the 1980 season. Then they'll return home for their final 2 games, and you're reminded the games are Friday, the 22nd of August. The Seattle Sounders will be in town at Commonwealth. And then on Sunday, the 24th, it's California. That could be quite a game. They both should be fine games. This is Ercole. Ercole leaving it for his center forward, Balon. Balon got a weak shot away, but now a little pressure being exerted by the Rochester Lancers. Tuxa, number 21, gets clear. A left-footed shot, bounds off a Driller defender and goes wide of the goal, but Perdialaya was right there anyway.
Almost caught him going the wrong way. It came off Dwight Lodewigg's, I believe, on a deflection. Patey was going across to cover it. As it happened, it went behind the post. It's a corner kick given to the Rochester Lancers.
Second corner kick of the game for Rochester, and the Edmonton Drillers go into their defensive posture here against the corner kick. It'll be it was easily put into play to Satevsky, number 22. The battle there was between John Webb and number 15, Pat Ercole. Ercole is a Toronto-born player. He was Lancer Rookie of the Year in 1978. He's a 22-year-old, has 21 points. Once again, on the corner kick, they just put the ball and go for possession rather than an attempt on goal. It's back to Stojanovic. This is the big gun. Watch for Stojanovic. Eddie Kirshner. And the ball taken out of problems by Heinlein. Leaves it for Sweeney. Oh, and then Perdialaya had to come out quickly to stop a fast-rushing Balon. The Drillers having problems now getting the ball over the center line. Ball will be thrown in by Tuxa. He gets it into Polahan, the captain of the team. Jim Polahan from Illinois, 26-year-old. This is Stojanovic. Stojanovic, a little chip. He was trying to get it to Polahan again. And the ball goes over the line. Live from Hollander Stadium in Rochester. This is on a lovely evening here in Rochester. It's been very humid and warm here in the New York State area. And beautiful for the big golf tournament, concluded today and won by the Golden Bear, Jack Nicklaus. Right now we have the Lancers trying to get it going, but it's cleared away by the Drillers. Kirshner rolling it, intended for Tenkata. It goes over the line. It'll be put into play by the Lancers. Number 12, Jim Polahan.
That's a corner kick, Al.
Yes, it is. This will be about the 5th corner kick for the Lancers, and the Drillers have not as yet manufactured even one. Here it comes. This time it's fed back out for ball possession once again. Polahan coming forward. Polahan, good move. Tries a shot, but a good defensive play by Andre Ostrom. And Ostrom still shaking his head, I'm sure, about the misfortune he had at Giant Stadium when, after Perdialaya made a great save, the ball bounded off his head or shoulder.
Just couldn't help it. He was running back into his position. It smacked him right in the face and right back in the net.
Awful tough when you lose it 3-2 in overtime on one of those kind of plays, but the Drillers played exceedingly well against the mighty Cosmos. Now the Lancers, that grass, as you can see, is quite thick and gives the players some trouble. I would think it'll be very taxing physically, the grass. This is Satevsky. get a shot clearly on goal. And once again, Rochester maintained possession. Holohan putting it in. He has it again, number 12. This is Tenkata moving in to do the marking. Webb tried to clear the wall away, could not. And it's back to Centroni. Centroni feeding to Ercole. Ercole for Ivkovic. There's the cross. The header tried by the center forward, but Balon had no luck at all. So far, Rochester, Brian, dominating the play, but not really getting all that many good chances.
That's right. They're just not being dangerous. They're stopping at the 18-yard line, not going forward, really, not penetrating us at all.
The light's not terribly impressive here at Hollander Stadium. I believe we may have a bit of problems with the lights. This is number 22, Sutevsky. Sutevsky leaves the ball for Balon. Balon trying to feed it through now. Oh, and a good play there as Stojanovic was trying to get possession of the ball, but Bernie James doing a yeoman job in there defensively. He is the guy that the drillers must stop, Mike Stojanovic. This is the speedy Henk Tenkata from Holland. That's a light standard you see in your picture now. The light standards are right on the sidelines. Rochester coming back on the offense again. This is Tuxa. Out comes Elia to clear it away. Actually, Rochester haven't been going well of late. They've lost something like 6 of their last 7 games.
They've lost that. They've won 1 game in 8, Alan, and that game was against San Diego, 3-1 at home.
Nice defensive maneuver by Mike Sweeney out of Simon Fraser in British Columbia. He feeds the ball over the head of Kirchner, but it's picked up by Guzens, and here come the Edmonton Drillers. The defender makes the heading. Ivkovic, but it's grabbed off again. The Drillers trying to get an attack going, but so far have not been able to penetrate the penalty box area.
Final home game of the 1980 season against the Atlanta Chiefs.
There's a look at the American Conference West. California leading it, 142. They picked up 8 points last night. The Drillers in second place, only 5 ahead of San Diego. So that is going to be the big battle. Drillers in San Diego now, because the second place team gets an automatic playoff berth. Other teams have to fight for wild cards. Then Tenkata for the Drillers. Looking for open space. Looks for Klinkenberg. Kirchner almost had a chance there, but it's grabbed by Emmanuel Schwartz. Schwartz feeds it up to number 12, Holohan. Holohan in turn feeds Centroni, the Argentinian. Centroni to Tuxa. He's a Yugoslav, a 29-year-old, has 3 goals on the year. Well, no luck for Mrs. Adele Bonia on the $125 jackpot in the Score with Safeway. We're into the second 15-minute portion of this first half. We now have $150 in the jackpot, and our contestant is Bayo Adebisi of Box 186, Substation 11 at the University of Alberta. If the Drillers score in this next 15-minute portion of the game, a $150 grocery voucher to Bayo Adebisi. During our halftime intermission, we'll be talking to newspaper reporters who have been following the Drillers all year long. Gary Proust of the Edmonton Sun and Cam Cole of the Edmonton Journal, plus journalist Terry Jones, who took advantage of the soccer trip to take in the PGA Golf Tournament as well. We'll chat with them about the Drillers on the year and their future. That's at halftime, along with highlights, of course. Klinkenberg. Tenkata back to Loda Vegas. Drillers playing tonight without Peter Nogley and Drew Ferguson. Also, of course, Ryberg and Raduca on the injured list. Nogley has a strained groin. Ferguson has a sprained ankle. Hopefully they'll be back to play in the Portland game next Wednesday, the 4th game of this tour. This is Andre Ostrom breaking through over the 35-yard line. Ostrom, a clearing. He was trying to clear to the center, but unfortunately his pass was picked off, and back comes the Lancers. This is Tuxa. He fires it across on the right side. Number 18 moving in there is Chico Balon, the center forward. Not any outstanding scoring chances as yet, but certainly Rochester have had the best of the territorial play. Big Eddie Kirshner, 14-goal scorer for the Drillers, slows it down. Tenkata, yeah, pass intended for Tenkata, easily intercepted by Tuxa. He drops it back for Centroni. Centroni getting it through for Sutevsky. This is Centroni. Chico Balon with 3 Drillers defending. Fine line moving out now, slowing it down. Lodevegas. Good move by Lodevegas. Another good move. There's the pass. Guzens. Shot. Too high.
He wasn't over that ball cleanly. It was nice pass into the middle. But John was standing too close to the ball and went over the crossbar.
Good play by Lodevegas. This is Al McCann and Brian Rice. Well, the Drillers have just taken a 1-0 lead and $150 in groceries to Bayo Adebisi. Hank Tenkata, number 12, making a nice maneuver. Brian, here's a look at it.
Right, Al. He takes the ball off Education here, as you can see, and he's using Jan Goosens in the middle as a decoy. Nice low shot into the far corner, beats the goalie cleanly.
Hank Tenkata working a nice play with Eddie Kirshner, and Tenkata scores his 5th goal of the season, driving it to the right-hand side of Emmanuel Schwartz, and a good goal for the Drillers. Kirshner will pick up an assist, and that will give Kirshner a total of 39 points. And as I say, Tenkata with his 5th goal of the year puts the Drillers in front 1-0. So they have the lead. This is Chico Balon. Balon trying to find some open space to get a shot away for Rochester. He drops it back in a long drive. Good save by Perdi Alara off Val Tuxa of Yugoslavia.
It wasn't really dangerous. It was just a shot taken. Perti was standing right there, caught the ball cleanly, no problems.
Assisted by number 9, Eddie
Let's take another look at that goal by Hank Tenkata, who made no mistake on a nice little give goal from Kirshner.
Right, you can see him taking the ball from Eddie Kirshner. Now, Jan Goosens is on his left there, and he's using Jan as a decoy. You can see the defender straight about the pass going into the middle. Nice shot by Hank, actually. Catches the corner very nicely.
Very, very well executed by Hank Tenkata, his 5th goal. A nice little maneuver by the defender, and then a quick little shot to the far corner that gave Schwartz no chance at all. And a fine goal to put the Drillers in front. Here's Finkenberg. Sweeney. Guzens. Guzens making an attack. Oh, that was almost dangerous. Schwartz had to come out to beat Tenkata.
Just got there in time.
Back, Jim Polahan for the Lancers. The official on that goal is Tenkata from Kirshner at 18 minutes, 36 seconds. Polahan dropping it for Centroni. Centroni in turn gives to Tuxa. On the far side for Sutevsky. Sutevsky gets clear, then it's headed out of harm's way. The Lancers' number 5 is Centroni. This is Centroni. The shot. Deflected away wide. So with 23 and 1/2 minutes remaining in the first half, the score, the Edmonton Drillers 1, the Rochester Lancers nothing. The Edmonton Drillers in their white uniforms leading the Rochester Lancers 1-0 with 22 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half here at Hollander Stadium in Rochester, New York. And the Lancers have had the best of the play, but the Drillers were the team that took advantage of their opportunity. Hank Tenkata working a little give-go with Eddie Kirshner and making a nice maneuver before firing a fine shot by goalkeeper Emmanuel Schwartz. This is Ron Klinkenberg for the Drillers approaching the center line. Klinkenberg feeds Andre Ostrom. Ostrom has trouble controlling and loses possession to Tuxa. Now the ball taken by number 25, Ivkovic. Ilya Ivkovic of Yugoslavia. He passes it to Pablo Centroni. Centroni to Pat Ercoli. Ercoli, a Toronto product. This is Centroni. Dangerous thrust here. Watch out for this guy. This is Stojanovic. Stojanovic looking, fires, but it It may have hit Klinkenberg's foot and went away wide.
Can't tell, went right past him.
Just a bad shot, eh?
Yeah, just absolutely no danger whatsoever.
Brian, is it difficult to get good shots away off that thick grass?
Well, it doesn't help the grass being long the way it is, and of course it's a very coarse grass. And really, that man was just grabbing at straws, because Ron Klinkenberg was right in front of him. He just shot the ball hoping for a rebound or a deflection. It never happened.
Stojanovic has 10 goals and 26 points. He's a Canadian now. He's, of course, from Yugoslavia. But what a career he's had. Number 7. Watch out here. This is Stojanovic, but he's down. Ostrom took him down. Is there going to be a call on the play?
No.
I don't believe so. It wasn't a foul. There's Stojanovic. You're looking at him now. He is the all-time Lancers scorer, as I said, with 50 goals. A 31-year-old. He has scored 96 goals in 2 seasons with Toronto Eagles in the old NSL.
In that case, what happened there, simply more than anything else, he lost his balance and tried to turn quickly. Andre was covering on the play, and then Klinkenberg came back and actually cleared the ball.
Good sliding tackle by Ostrom. Drillers moving back onto the attack again. This is Heinlein, number 8. Heinlein to Klinkenberg. Klinkenberg looking for Guzens. Guzens well marked. Gets the cross in there, and it keeps Schwartz scrambling because Mike Sweeney was moving in sharply from the left side. We've got just under 20 minutes remaining here in the first half. The Drillers lead it, if you join us late, 1-0. The goal scored at 18:36. A nice play by Henk Tenkata from Eddie Kirchner. Number 18, Chico Ballon, will put the ball in play. In fairness, the Rochester Lancers playing without Branko Sagoda, their 10-goal scoring center forward. They're also without 2 or 3 other players, but the Drillers are hurting tonight, too. Both teams playing with little problems.
Yeah, Segota has apparently, according to the stats, 168 shots on goal this year.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And the nearest one to him on the club is another player with 63 shots. That's unreal.
Sounds as many shots as the Drillers have on the season. It's a lot of shots to get 10 goals. That's Kirchner putting it through. This is Tenkata again. This time he cannot control the soccer ball, and it's back to Schwartz. There's a look at the Drillers bench. Timo Liakowski second from the left. Next to him on to the right of your screen is Jay Hoffman. The coaching staff of the Edmonton Drillers, who are having a fine season. 14 wins, 14 losses, 125 points. They are 5-9 on the road and 9-5 in the friendly confines of Commonwealth Stadium. And they'll be back there on the 22nd and 24th of this month to play Seattle and California, respectively. That was Webb leaving the ball for Guzens. Guzens was checked very closely by Sutevsky. Guzens leaves it for Webb, the captain of the team out of Liverpool, England. 27-year-old. Doesn't do it properly. And
that's pushing off by Jan Guzens.
Pushing off Colin Guzens, and it means the ball goes over to the Lancers. Number 15, Ercole. Dropping it back for Ivkovic. This is Balon, a long looper. Alaya has no problems. Perdi Alaya coming out to make the play. 1.67 goals against average, 6 shutouts, and the product of Helsinki, Finland, really had an outstanding game against the New York Cosmos at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands a few nights ago. It certainly wasn't his fault that the Drillers finally lost it 3-2 in overtime.
On Edmonton's first goal now, Bernie James has been given an assist also, as well as
Bernie James, number
Eddie
20.
Kirchner. Yeah,
That'll
number
be
20.
That's Bernie's first point of the season. Kirchner and James get assists on the goal by Tenkata. This is Rochester's Balon, laying it through for Stojanovic. Back to Balon. Moving with the ball now, number 21, Tuksa. Tuksa to Ercole. Ercole being hounded by John Webb there. This is Sutevsky. Sweeney, the defender. Sutevsky to Ercole. Nice steal by Webb. Drillers now turning onto the offense with 16:45 remaining first half. But a rather aimlessly hit ball goes right back to number 12, Holohan. Holohan feeds it up to Tuksa. Tuksa approaching the 35-yard line, slows it down. This pops it into the penalty box. And it's cleared out by Bernie James. James is a good defender, Brian. Does a good job man on man.
He does. He's very, very solid. He's built very strong, and none of the opposing forwards will knock him around, because he's really very physical himself.
Well, he had the unenviable task, Brian, of checking Quinalia, and did a good job, I thought.
Did a real good job. Same with Gerd Mueller in that game in Fort Lauderdale. Did a good job on him also.
We've got 16 minutes and 3 seconds remaining. And while Mifflin puts his shoe back on, the Lancers put the ball into play. This is Polahan. Polahan puts the ball in play. Balon almost got it. Almost got a dangerous chance there against the Drillers, but he had no luck. Balon was trying to get it to Polahan.
He's being checked very closely by Bernie James again, giving him no room whatsoever.
This is Stojanovic again, and he's down. Ostrom doing a good job on Stojanovic when he comes into that area. Ball comes back near midfield, and it's picked up there by Sutevsky. This is Ivkovic. Ivkovic gets it to Polahan. Polahan's cross is knocked away. Headed back again by Ivkovic. They save off Sutevsky. Kardialaya makes the save, and live from Rochester, this is Edmonton Drillers soccer. This is the Rochester Lancers attacking at Hollander Stadium in Rochester. They trail the Edmonton Drillers 1-0. We have 14:27 remaining here in the first half, and another contestant has a crack at $25 worth of groceries in the way of a voucher on Store with Safeway. And for the final 15 minutes in this first half, our contestant, Mrs. D. Lech, 13433 101st Street in Edmonton. That was Guzens coming back quickly to help on defense. The ball picked up by Tuxa. Tuxa drops it back for Centroni. Centroni puts it through, a little too far, actually. And a nice save there by Ercole. And the play whistled down.
It's been given as a goal kick. The ball must have been across the line.
Must have just got over the line, and it'll be goal kick. It looked like Ercole might have saved it. I guess not. Kardialaya puts the ball in play, giving it over to John Webb. Webb to Ludovegas. Ludovegas swirling it through the middle. It's back for Bernie James. James to Tincata. Tincata advancing now. Drops it across for Klinkenberg. Klinkenberg on the far side for Sweeney. Sweeney marked by Sutevsky. Passes off to Heinlein. Heinlein.
Oh, that was a bad
It's a
ball
true
right
pass,
there.
but it was too far, and the Rochester Lancers will take it to the throw-in. Jim Polahan is there. The Drillers 1 win, 1 loss on this trip. 5 wins, 9 losses on the road this year. And this is our 16th Driller telecast. They've won 8 and lost 7 on television. The top scorer on television has been Kirshner, 8 goals, 4 assists of his total on the season of 14 goals and 11 assists. Little pile up there.
As Klinkenberg has been called for obstruction.
Ilya Ivkovic involved with Ron Klinkenberg, and Klinkenberg called for the obstruction, and he seems to have sustained something in the way of a face injury. Let's have another look at that, Brian, and see what happened.
Right, you can see the man coming at Klinkenberg, and he's simply backing up here. Puts his left leg out to try and stop the ball, and the man seems to hit him on the neck or the head with the left shoulder.
I thought he got him in the face with his forearm, but Klink's going to be all right. This is Al McCann and Brian Rice. The score, the Drillers 1, the Lancers no. This is Hollander Stadium, and watch now, we're going to have Mike Stojanovic taking this indirect free kick. Drillers setting up their defensive wall. Here's Stojanovic, and he gets it over, but wide. I guess he was trying for the far corner, Brian.
He was, but you know, there's no way that ball is going to beat PSGLI because he's got the wall in front of him. He's got that corner covered. The man hit the ball, hit it well, but hit it well wide.
Drillers, though perhaps outplayed territorially, have a 1-0 margin here in the first half at Hollander Stadium in Rochester. And it'll be Rochester ball.
It's hard to believe how, with this facility, the Rochester Lancers, in their first year in the league, managed to win the NASL championship.
It really is, you know, Brian. I was just thinking, We have come from the very pinnacle of the NASL, probably to the poorest facility, without putting down Rochester. This is really a high school type facility, after being in Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands, which is just a super soccer building.
Well, it makes Clark Stadium look like Wembley right now. Really, it's just
very well put.
Unbelievable.
Well, certainly, most particularly, the field condition makes Clark Stadium is far superior.
No question. Although, you know, the people, when they're watching this on television, it looks like a natural grass area, which it is, of course, but it's just, it's bumpy and it's uneven. It's a real bad field.
Here's a replay of that injury play. First, there's a look at Hollander Stadium first. And you can get an idea. It's not very well lit, actually. It's quite shadowy.
You can see in the sidelines where the lights are really, really poor coming down the actual sidelines, and they could prove a problem later on when it gets really dark for the windows.
It's going on 9 o'clock here in New York State. We're just waiting for the injured player to get back into the action again. That is Ilya Ivkovic. So with 11 and a half minutes remaining in the first half, the score, the Drillers won. We're back, and this is Lefram getting a shot away. Perdy Elia handles it for the Edmonton Drillers. And it's a 1-0 soccer game. The goal at 18:36 of this first half, Hank Tenkata from Eddie Kirchner and Bernie James. And we now have 11 minutes remaining in the first half. This is Heinlein jostling with Val Tuksa, the Yugoslav.
He's been called for holding. Free kick given to Edmonton.
The foul on number 21, Val Tuksa.
Tenkata, who got the only goal of the game thus far, has possession now as the Drillers advance into Rochester territory. Back to Captain John Webb. Webb being marked by Sutevsky. He clears to Tenkata. Back for Webb. Webb popping it through for Klinkenberg. Klinkenberg, a left-footed shot, but it sails high.
Wasn't a bad effort. Again, there was no one moving up front, so Ron thought he saw the opening, hit the ball with his left foot, but he was leaning back when he hit the ball. That caused the ball to sky high, and it went over the crossbar.
Klinkenberg hasn't scored a goal this season yet. Neither has Webb, neither has Sweeney, and neither has James, who are on the field right now. But the top goal scorer is Kirchner with 14. Top goal scorer for Rochester is Stojanovic with 10.
At the stadium advance ticket window.
Segota also has 10, but he is not in the lineup. Segota out with an ankle injury. Upfield now for Pablo Centroni. Centroni getting it ahead to Stojanovic. Stojanovic rolling it through, but it's grabbed by James. James quickly feeds Lodovegas, and Lodovegas moves it out quickly on the left side. Lodovegas at center to Heinlein. Webb. Drillers slowing it down now. 9 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Tenkata trying for Heinlein, but it wasn't quite hard enough. And it tied up in the grass, and it's picked off by Ivkovic. Ivkovic feeding to Sutevsky. Up for Balon. Balon, really good-sized guy. He's 205 pounds. 32 years old, 6 feet tall. No problem for Perdy Elia there.
That was an unusual back pass by Andre Ustrom, though.
This is Lodovegas, number 4. He's bumped by Tuksa, then knocked down. Tuksa also pretty good size. Tuksa to Ercole. Ercole popping it through, looking for Tuksa again, but it's Drillers, Heinlein, Klinkenberg. This is Sweeney. Sweeney just popping it back for Webb. Drillers doing a good job now of short passing. Klinkenberg getting team from front and back is tripped up there.
Ron a little bit upset with that play. Then he was going away from the man. The man just ankle tapped him and sent him flying.
A lot of Yugoslavian players on this Rochester team, Brian.
There are, Al. I think they have 3 on the field right now, and they have more on the reserve bench.
Moving out now is Newsom. He's from Bermuda. A 26-year-old John Newsom gets the ball across to Ercole. He's a Toronto-born. One of the citizens on the field. This is Ercole again. You can see how thick that grass is. He almost sinks to his ankles. Balon being checked by James, gets by James. Gets the ball to Ivkovic. Ivkovic nicely handled there. Nice defensive maneuver. Tenkata just lets the ball bound over his head, and it's grabbed easily by Centroni. Centroni to Newsom. Newsom dropping it back for Tuxa. Tuxa breaking through. Sweeney checks for a long shot by Tuxa is wide.
Edmonton are forcing them to shoot from 20, 25 yards away, and Pertier is covering the angles very well, so really they haven't posed any danger whatsoever in this first half.
7 minutes remaining in the first half, and you're reminded the Drillers are home on Friday the 22nd of this month against Seattle. What a game that should be. Seattle's had a marvelous year. And then Sunday the 24th, California. That could decide a playoff berth.
That might well be the game of the season for both clubs. It could well decide first place in our league now.
Both games should be excellent games at Commonwealth Stadium on the 22nd and 24th. And of course, one more road game after tonight for the Drillers. Next Wednesday, they'll be in Portland. No telecast. CTV, of course, football night. The Eskimos and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers from the Winnipeg Stadium on next Wednesday evening. Nice play by Tenkata going both ways now. Leaves for Klinkenberg. This is number 19, Mepham. Mepham has it intercepted. And Heinlein just relays the ball back to Pertier. Let's look at the American Conference setup. There's the situation right now. Chicago with 184 points running away, of course. And the matchups now, the matchups are colored. Chicago and San Diego would meet if the league was over right now. New England would play Tampa, and Fort Lauderdale would play the Drillers. That was if the league was over tonight. That, of course, will probably change. Back for Andre Ostrom, who just relays to Pertier with number 12 coming in quickly. That's Jim Polahan. Brian, I must say I really enjoyed the PGA golf tournament. Nice to see Jack Nicklaus coming back so strong.
7-stroke winner, I believe he was in the end, so he really ran away with it, as you mentioned.
Very, very, very difficult golf course, Oak Hill. Beautiful, tough. Only one player under par for 72 holes, and that was the Golden Bear himself. Okay, back to the action here. This is Klinkenberg. Klinkenberg, nice move. 5 minutes remaining first half. This is Kirshner. Drillers doing a lot of communicating now. Kirshner. He chipped it intended for Sweeney, but it was grabbed off instead by Sutivsky. Sweeney gets it back. Nice play. Gets it by Guzins, unfortunately, and Ivkovic has it. Ivkovic to Tuxa. Tuxa ahead for Ercole. Ercole breaking away against Ostrom. Ercole slowing it down now. Trying to work a give and go with Balon. Balon being hounded by John Webb. Webb falls, though, and Balon gets back and saves the ball. Good move by Balon. Good by Webb. Balon turns in front. Good chance. They shoot. Oh, and it deflected. What a chance and what a play by Balon. He left Webb for dead.
That was a nice play by Balon. He took the ball along the sideline. Kind of dragged it with his foot here, as you can see.
Let's watch it because it's a great individual maneuver against a veteran defender.
It is. He drags the ball with his foot, as you can see, and then onto the left foot. And it makes a nice pass, actually, to the man coming in, as you can see. Good shot on goal. It struck, I think, Bailey James, or Dwight Lodevegas went behind for the corner kick.
It hit Lodevegas, you're right. A good break for the Drillers because that was a fine offensive play by the Rochester Lancers. And now we have the play stopped while referee Tony Evangelista talks to the Drillers. The foul is against Sweeney, apparently. And Mike Stoyanovich is lining it up. Two-man wall set there. There's a good look at Stoyanovich. Out of Yugoslavia, now a Canadian. He pops it in front. Headed out of play into the corner by Lodevegas. Webb does a nice maneuver this time against number 5 Centroni. Back out to Ivkovic. Ivkovic to Ercole. To Balon. Balon. Stoyanovich was coming forward, but Alaya got there first. We're down to 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Tenkata from Kirshner and James, 18-36, the only goal of the game. The Drillers lead it 1-0, and they can certainly use the points. San Diego gaining ground. They would dearly love to, of course, overtake California for first place, but second place is a must. You can't fool it with wild cards. Anything can happen. This is Ivkovic. Ilya Ivkovic of Yugoslavia moving the ball. checked hard by Andre Ostrom, and that'll be a foul.
Yeah, that was called basically for charging over obstruction.
Rochester, who have lost 7 of their last 8 games, are looking quite strong in this particular game. That close look was Ilya Ivkovic. Here he is again. And it'll be Driller's ball. Val Tuxa didn't like that call from Evangelista. Mrs. D. Letch trying for $25 in the way of a grocery voucher from Safeways. Now has only 1 minute and 43 seconds. And you're reminded again that during the halftime, I'll be chatting with Terry Jones, Cam Cole, Gary Prouse, the newspaper corps covering the Edmonton Drillers on this particular trip. And we'll also have Brian Rice for some highlights. Rochester in the blue and gold, trailing 1-0 to the white-clad Drillers. Pablo Centroni dropping it back for his co-defender. Now watch out here. This is Stojanovic. He crosses the ball. Webb puts it back out to Klinkenberg, who heads it dangerously. Now Klinkenberg again. This time Klinkenberg just chips the ball, and once again, the Drillers, at least the Drillers having problems getting the ball out there. Coley keeps it in. Deft little maneuver by Polahan. Polahan getting it to Stojanovic. Stojanovic back for Polahan. Polahan looking for space. Anton Kata knocks it away, and now there is only 30 seconds remaining in the first half.
I think what is happening there right now is Stojanovic is being told by the referee to cool things down, because in that play a few moments ago, when Dwight Lodovigos made a sliding tackle, the ball went away and Stojanovic stood on Dwight's leg. I think he's been shown a yellow card.
Yes, I think he was, Brian.
The funny thing is, the referee didn't call a foul on the play. He had to play stop and then gave him the yellow card. Rather unusual call.
I was surprised that Lodovigos seemed to be arguing. Why he'd argue against Stojanovic getting a yellow card, I don't know. There's a good look at Dwight Lodovigos, outstanding defender. This is Rochester, but they got a little fouled up there, and Klaus Heinlein just knocks the ball into the stands with 25 seconds remaining, feeling that's probably safer than letting Rochester get possession in their zone.
Kick carrying.
This is the Lancers again, their last bid certainly in the first half. Ostrom will put the ball in play now as the time ticks down. We should have... There is the whistle. It is halftime, and the score at the end of the first half is the Edmonton Drillers 1, the Rochester Lancers no score.
Okay, back at Rochester, the score is 1-0 for Edmonton at half-time. We're going to show you the half-time, the one goal that's opened the scoring for Edmonton. The ball is fed through to Eddie Kirshner from Bernie James. He relays the ball back in to Henk Tankara. Henk takes the ball, as you can see. He runs towards the goal. Off camera to his left is Jan Goossens breaking through the middle. The defender is scared of the ball going through Jan Goossens. He's backing in. Henk breaks into the penalty area. A nice slow shot. Beats the goalkeeper cleanly. Bottom right-hand corner of the net. Gave Edmonton a 1-0 lead, and that's the half-time score right now. Okay, let's go downstairs to Al McCann and the representatives of the Edmonton Journal and the Edmonton Sun newspaper.
Well, okay, Brian, I've got my journalistic cohorts with me here. On my right, Cam Cole, who covers the Drillers on a regular basis for the Edmonton Journal. Gary Prouse, of course, his counterpart from the Edmonton Sun, and Journal columnist Terry Jones, who I think made this trip mostly because the PGA Golf Championship was here. Terry, just before we talk strictly about soccer, I don't know about you, but yesterday was one of the highlights of my career covering golf at that great course.
Oh, same for me. Just one of the great thrills. We tried to get Jack Nicklaus here for the show tonight, but he's still in the press tent.
Actually, today, a little bit anticlimactic. Jack won it yesterday.
Well, Jack actually said it was one of his best finishing rounds in his entire career. He thought he was delighted with today, but just a super golf tournament. I've only attended one other golf tournament before, rather, and that was the Crosby in California, but this topped that by a whole pile.
Cam, I want to tell you, I've never seen you run so fast out there on the golf course. You didn't miss very many shots that the Golden Bear hit in the last couple of days.
I've been a fan of his for quite some time now, and it was just a pleasure to watch the man play golf. He's awesome.
What do you think we'd shoot on that Oak Hill?
115 on a good day.
Tough golf course.
Fairways are really narrow. They're cut in so tight, and if you're in the rough at all, you're in jail. And most of the players said that was the big reason Nicholas did so well in that tournament. He just hit it great off the tee.
Okay, let's talk about the Edmonton Drillers. Gary, first off, your impressions of the Drillers tonight playing without a couple of their regulars, Nogley and Ferguson.
Well, I think it's very difficult for them tonight with Nogley out and Ferguson out. I think Nogley plays a very big part in their attack, and without him, they really don't have that much of an attack. Without Ferguson, they lose an awful lot of speed in the midfield. Drew is probably the best conditioned athlete on the team, and without the two of them, it just makes it very difficult. But they are ahead 1-0, thanks to a goal by Hank Tenkata.
Terry, good goal by Tenkata on a field that I think is just brutally tough to play on.
Well, this game is kind of strange to me, Al. After watching the Cosmos a few nights ago, then you come in. This is not exactly a major league ballpark we have here. And,
it's not a good high school park.
And it's tough really to get into this game. I don't know. I'm really working at it. It's not the same.
Cam, of all the parks, and you've been with the Drillers all through the season, this would have to be the least major league.
I would think it ranks right down there with San Jose, which was in the process of being remodeled when we were in there, and sat about 11,000 who were warned not to expect too much by the fire marshals. And it was raining when we were in there, so we really didn't see the good side of the stadium, but I don't really think there was one in San Jose. This isn't too outstanding.
You two guys, Gary and Cam, of course, you've covered the Drillers all through the season. A much more pleasant task than last year's Drillers, Gary.
Yes, I think basically they're much more disciplined than they were last year. I didn't cover the team last year, but this year they're much more disciplined. I think Timo's brought to the team a more professional attitude. I think it's more attitude than it is anything else with this team this year.
Okay, gentlemen, we'll be back to talk more about the Drillers, their soccer season, and things to come. But right now, let's break for this message. It's halftime here at Hollander Stadium in Rochester, New York, and I'm back with journalists on the Drillers beat. We have Cam Cole on my right and Terry Jones on my extreme left from the Edmonton Journal, and also Gary Prost from the Edmonton Sun. And guys, I want to talk about the Drillers and the NASL in general. Starting with you, Terry. We've seen a lot of franchises that look like they're pretty shaky. They're going to go. Give me a press in your opinion of the league's health and the Drillers' health.
Well, this is one place, obviously, where I think you're seeing the second-last soccer game in Rochester. We're hearing rumors about Memphis coming to Calgary. I think there's something to that, at least some team coming to Calgary. I think most of the teams in the NASL, though, are still in that 5-year span where they're waiting for the game to just go over the edge sort of thing. And Edmonton is in the second year of that phase. I think they're in excellent situation in Edmonton with 11,000 people on the average. Is not the greatest statistic in the world, but it seems like it's the same 11,000. They've got a base, and all they really have to do is go to work and do some promoting, and they're going to have a major league franchise there.
Gary, do you think the future is bright for Edmonton and the league?
I think it could be. As Terry said, I think the promotion is a big thing, whether they promote next year or not. I know at the beginning of the season that one of the big problems was that they purchased a lot of players. They spent quite a bit of money on players, and they were hoping that those players would be the cornerstone of the promotion, and of course that isn't the case. You have to promote a game that people don't know about, and I think that's one place that went wrong. As far as the league is concerned, I think the Drillers aren't the only ones in that boat. I think that most of the teams in this league are in that same position where they have to learn to promote, and I think in North America where that is the key, that's simply it. They have to promote, and they're just not able to do it right now, I guess, because money is a big problem.
But I'm sorry, Gary, but that's the difference between Edmonton and anywhere else in the league, is the other teams do promote. They seem to have a base of 5,000 or 6,000, and it shoots up on fireworks night to 24, 25, something like that. So their average comes up. I'm just suggesting that if Edmonton went out and did that sort of thing, that their average is going to jump up in the area of 2022. And one of the things that excuse that the Edmonton Drillers seem to be using is that they spent all their money on players, and that's a valid excuse to some extent, but a great deal of it is just plain simple, good old-fashioned hard work.
Cam, do you agree that promotion's the answer, the only thing that the two guys are referring to?
Well, I would agree that the bulk of their money, I think the emphasis has been on player personnel this year. I would defend the Drillers management to some extent because that is the excuse they've used, and I think it's valid. I think they're thinking in terms of next year not adding more than maybe 1 or 2 players, and that should leave them some money to do some promotion work. So I think we're probably going to see something one way or the other next year in terms of what management can do in promotion.
Okay, Cam and Terry and Gary, thanks very much for dropping by at halftime, and we'll be back with more action from Rochester, New York in just a moment.
The second half just underway here at Hollander Stadium in Rochester, and I'll have to catch my breath after running up those stairs, Brian. But, of course, being in top physical condition, it'll only take me about 10 seconds.
Stop panting then and get up the floor.
By the way, we have a new contestant for the first 15 minutes of this second half in our Score with Safeway contest. $50 in the way of a grocery voucher now up for grabs, and our contestant is Mr. J.E. Chappell. That's Chappell of Rural Route 1 in Riley, Alberta, so good luck. Let's have a look at the summary of the first half as the ball goes back into the Drillers' zone. Drillers, of course, in the white. The Drillers outshot 11-6 by the Lancers, who had the edge territorially, but the saves are 2-1. Perdi Alaya making 2, and goalkeeper Manuel Schwartz making 1. But it's 1-0. The most important statistic has the Drillers leading on Tankata's goal from Kirshner and James at 18:36. And the ball is back to Perdi Alaya. Wonder if that gouged out dirt around the goal area bothers the keepers any.
It will if they dive for the ball. Obviously, it's going to cause them some scrapes and bruises. But another thing as well, when the ball goes in there low and hard, it can, of course, with it not being an even part of the ground, it can bounce and take crazy hops on you.
Perdi Alaya defending against number 7, Mike Stojanovic. In a 2-year period with Toronto White Eagles of the NSL, Stojanovic actually scored 96 goals. That's a lot of goals in soccer in 2 years.
They have a lot of players who came from Toronto and played in the MISL and the American Soccer League previously.
This is number 22 now, Sutevsky. He gets the ball ahead to Centroni. It's flipped through on the right side. Moving with the ball is Chico Balon. Balon being well marked there by John Webb, and the ball does squirt over the line. John Webb waiting to put the ball in play for the Edmonton Drillers, looking for their 15th win of the season and their 6th win on the road. And right now they're enjoying a 1-0 margin, and as the night gets darker, the field gets more shadowy.
That's right, particularly the sidelines. You can see where they're really dark. The center of the field is lit up okay because of the actual lights, the way they're positioned, but as we mentioned, down both sidelines you can see where the shadow has formed.
There are 6 light standards, and there are only about 9 lights on each standard, maybe 10. It doesn't really throw all that much light. There's a lot of shadows on the sidelines, but the players seem to be getting along all right. It'll be corner kick, and in each case Rochester appeared to not put the ball in front on corner kicks, but just take their chances by moving the ball into play and trying to work a shot from there. That was number 15, Pat Ercole, who was dumped.
Lancer corner kick.
Another corner kick for the Lancers. We'll see what they opt for this time in the way of strategy. They trail 1-0. That's number 21, Val Tuksa, a Yugoslavian player. He puts the ball in front. There's Balon's header, and Perdi Alaya makes the save. A good save that time, but Alaya was in the right place.
That's right. The man was by himself who took the head at Chico Balon. We can see this again. The corner kick comes across. It's a nice corner kick taken. Balon standing by himself. Gets the header away cleanly. But just right to Perdi Alaya. Nice, comfortable save. No real danger.
Balon's a big one, isn't he? 205 pounds, Peruvian. You don't see guys that heavy that often in soccer.
No, he's a big, well-built man, but he's not too mobile. He's not too quick. Not very impressive, I'm afraid.
Sutevsky, number 22, is pushed down by Sweeney. No call on the play, though. The Drillers will accept that. Fans very unhappy with that. They felt that Sweeney was pushing on the play. I thought he was, too. This is Lota Vegas doing a diving slide that took down Val Tuksa. And the official rules that the ball belongs to Rochester. It'll be free kick. Tuksa appears to have injured himself a little.
Well, Clinkenbeck just gave him a friendly tap after the whistle had gone. Seems to have knocked his shoulder, to some extent, the left shoulder there.
Sweeney made a nice stop on that ball and fires it ahead for Guzens. Guzens gets it to Kirshner, back to Guzens. Guzens making a good drive now. slows play down. Dumps the ball across for Tincata. Tincata marked by Polahan, and he's content to let the ball go over the line for a throw-in. This is Klinkenberg. Klinkenberg checked by Tuxa. And we have a whistle on that play. Tuxa probably fouling on Klinkenberg. Oh, now we're getting the actors. We got to break out a new set of Academy Awards here. Tuxa jumped back as if he wanted to make it look like he'd been struck by a punch. There was no punch at all. Let's look for the Emmy Award-winning performance here. Now watch this, Brian. When Klinkenberg jumps up and says something, Tuxa does a dive. Look. Uh-oh. Now, isn't that something?
Oh, definitely an Oscar job. No question. I love it.
Klinkenberg jumped up like he wanted to fight. He weighs about 29 pounds.
Well, he's very physical, though.
But he's physical. He's in great condition. Now, Tuxa is really something. We're live from Rochester, New York, Hollander Stadium. It's 1-0 if you joined us late. Tincata scoring from Kirshner and James at 18:36 of the first half. The Drillers are off tomorrow to Portland, where they'll wrap up their road schedule next Wednesday evening. CFRN Television next Wednesday evening will be carrying the Edmonton Eskimos and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers from the Winnipeg Stadium. I'll be there, along with Dale Isaac and Frank Rigney. Let's take another look at Tuxa's Academy Award dive. There he goes. He almost killed himself in the fall, though.
I know what it was. I think Ron blew too hard. That's what it was. Caught the full force of Ron's breath.
There comes the cross. Klink tried to get a shot, then Sweeney, but he banged it right off the defender. Now we're getting lots of hollering from Val Tuxa, number 21.
Well, the reason for that was when Mike Sweeney hit that ball, it did actually come back off of Ron Klinkenberg, and it should have been a goal kick, but the referee and the linesman are both giving them a corner kick to Edmonton.
Val Tuxa, Yugoslavian 29-year-old, 3 goals and 6 assists. Mike Sweeney will take this corner kick for the Drillers. They lead it 1-0. They'd like to increase that margin if they could. 9 points would look awfully good tonight. Here comes the ball. Klinkenberg went high, didn't make contact, and the ball squirts all the way out to Ostrom. Andre Ostrom, he runs into pretty good body contact there. And the ball comes out to Ercole. Ercole coming away quickly. Cutting over is Bernie James, joined by Sweeney. The ball popped through, and Alaya comes out to make a play. Alaya leaves for Lodovegas. Heinlein, Sweeney. This is Bernie James being hounded by Sutevsky. To Ostrom, to Kirchner. Now it's Klinkenberg on the far side. Klinkenberg bounces it off number 5, Pablo Centroni. And back comes Rochester, number 22, Sutevsky. He pops it through, but it's Lodovegas bouncing it back outside. Nice maneuver there by Kirchner, who ducked in quickly. This is Eddie Kirchner, top scorer for the Edmonton Drillers with 14 goals.
That's a nice ball, nice switch of play.
Nice play. Klinkenberg looking for the speedy Tincata. Here comes Tincata. Here's the shot, and it is way wide of the goal, but Tincata showed a good burst of speed. Live from Hollander Stadium in Rochester, this is Edmonton Driller Soccer. We have a total of 37 minutes and 25 seconds remaining here in the second half. Our contestant on Score with Safeway right now is Mr. J.E. Chappell of Riley, Alberta. $50 Safeway voucher if the Drillers score on this corner kick or in the next few minutes. And here's Sweeney. Puts the ball out. And it's knocked away by Pat Ercole. This is Balon. Balon getting it ahead for Stojanovic. And the ball goes all the way to Pertialaya. Andre Ostrom to Bernie James. James out of Seattle, Washington, 21-year-old, 190-pounder, good defender. Back for Ilya Ivkovic. Then goalkeeper Emmanuel Schwartz from Israel. 9-time international player with the Israeli team. Dimik Sutevsky, number 22 for the Rochester Lancers. Looking for an opening. Pops it through, but Lodovegas was there to knock it back out again. Klinkenberg content to drop it back to Ostrom. The veteran from Holland, 27-year-old Andre Ostrom, moves the ball up to Klinkenberg on the right side. Klinkenberg lost the ball. And back comes the ever-dangerous Lancers. Getting set. Here comes a shot, but it's knocked down by the defender. And Rochester just can't finish. They get some chances, but they can't really get those dramatic good shots.
Ron Klinkenberg was a little bit casual coming out and kind of made a half-hearted pass with the ball inside. It was stolen away by a Rochester man, and that was really their biggest attack of the actual game so far. They could have well scored off that play.
Ostrom and Polahan almost bumped into each other. Now we have Heinlein going back quickly, and Heinlein moving up. Here comes Klaus Heinlein. Left foot pass. He was trying for Guzens. Guzens was cut off at the pass by Ercole, who was coming back, and we have a pile-up in the goal area. Number 17 was in there bouncing around, Johnny Newsom from Bermuda. Guzens will be called for the foul, but let's look at it. The goalkeeper, Emmanuel Schwartz, injured a bit. Brian?
This is a nice play by Heinlein. Nice left-footed cross. He catches Jan Guzens in full flight. Jan catches the ball well. The defender recovers there. The ball does come back to the goalkeeper. Now, it appears as though the goalkeeper loses possession of the ball. Right there, you can see. And Jan is going for the ball with his feet. I doubt that that one should have been called, actually, because he seemed to lose control of the ball.
I thought Schwartz pulled him down with his hand. This is Al McCann and Brian Rice. We're back at Hollander Stadium, and Perdy Eliav, the Edmonton Drillers, handling an easy shot and putting it into play. Drillers leading it 1-0 on a first half goal by Henk Tenkata. We have 33 minutes and 20 seconds remaining now in the second half, and the Drillers, if they hold a 1-0 lead, would pick up 7 valuable points in the standings. But of course, it's far from over. This is Tenkata for the Drillers. Tenkata with the big speed, moving close to that goal line, but he tried for a deft little maneuver, but it was picked up by Newsom, and Newsom just lobs it ahead and gets the attack going. Lancers putting it through for Balon. Balon's shot is cleared easily by Lodovegas. And it'll be a corner kick. And there's a good look at number 18, Chico Balon of Peru, 32-year-old, 205-pounder. He has 1 goal and 4 assists on the season.
He looks older than 32 now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I'm sure they say that about me, too.
I believe them then.
This is 22, Sutevsky. Look out, Sutevsky. But he didn't hit it well. You know, it won't be long now, Brian, before we have the first ever season of indoor soccer in Edmonton. Here's a little look at how wild and woolly that indoor game can be. You play it on the artificial covering in the Coliseum is where it'll be. The nets are smaller. The boards are in play. More like hockey. There's constant substitution. There's lots of goals and lots of bumping and lots of action. And if you're interested in getting more details on the schedule the Drillers will be involved in, there's the number to call. The Drillers office, 428-8989. It's going to be exciting, and it starts in the month of October. Indoor soccer featuring the Edmonton Drillers. But right now we're concerned with the outdoor variety. And this is number 19, Mefram. Mefram couldn't follow up on that play, and the Drillers again knocked the ball back to near midfield. Oh, good play. Here's Balon. Balon moving in. Lots of coverage, though. Balon falls, and Bernie James makes a sliding kick away. And the Drillers, who seem to be getting into problems, clear the ball all the way downfield. It's cut off down there by Ivkovic. Ivkovic content just to roll it across for Centroni. Centroni gets it up to Sutevsky. Over on the right side now for Mefram. Mefram looking for Balon. Oh, whoa, talk about body contact. Lodovegas just flattened his man. And I'll tell you, getting up slowly after that shot was number 19, Dennis Mefram. And did he take a shot from Lodovegas? Let's have a look at it. Here it is.
See, it's a 50-50 ball. Both men going for the ball. Hard collision.
They're both all right. They're hardy breed, these soccer players. And we're back to the action here with 30 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the second half. The Drillers leading by 1, but Rochester ever pressing. Tenkata to Heinlein. On the overlap, it's Klinkenberg, but Heinlein chooses to go way downfield. And hustling back forward is number 25, Ilya Ivkovic. Rochester had the advantage in shots on goal in the first half, but the most important statistic belongs to the Drillers, thanks to Hank Tenkata, who scored a fine goal at 18:36. Stevsky leaving it along the back line. Hey, and by the way, we have a new contestant now in store with Safeway, $75 in the way of a grocery voucher now, and our new contestant is Walter Badiuk of 1107, that's apartment number, at 10830 Jasper Avenue. The Drillers score in the next 15 minutes. Walter, you've got $75 worth of groceries from Safeway.
The foul on number 18, Julio Bailon.
The foul was on Bailon, and Drillers will put the ball in play. There's a good look at Captain John Webb out of Liverpool, England, a 27-year-old, 3 assists on the season. Drillers, if you joined us late, playing without the German Oak tonight. Peter Nogley out with a groin strain. Also Drew Ferguson, outstanding midfielder, out with an ankle sprain. And of course we have Ryberg still out with a knee problem, and Joe Raduca out with a broken toe. So the Drillers have their share of injury problems. So of Rochester, though, in fairness, they're missing several players, not the least of which is Branko Segota, their Big Ten goal scorer. Now with 29 minutes remaining in the second half, the score Edmonton 1, Rochester nothing. 5, Ilya Ivkovic, and Tenkata looks back thinking there should have been a foul called. Great chance that time for the Drillers. Number 5 coming back, Pablo Centrone. Centrone popping the ball through, looking for the big guy, number 7, Stojanovic. Stojanovic bangs the ball off the leg of Bernie James, and Bernie's doing a good job back there defensively.
Just basically just hanging on like a coat hanger, and the man turns it on quickly, shoots the ball, ricochets away from Burnley.
Satevsky over to Centrone. Centrone, number 5. Again looking for Stojanovic. Stojanovic and Bernie James doing some jostling there, and the ball comes back out for number 22, Satevsky. This is dangerous. Inside there's a shot, bounces off John Webb. Good chance, actually, but no cigar again for the Rochester Lancers. Here's something you don't hear very often in the month of August. I'll tell you in just a moment here after this play materializes, as Eddie Kirshner has the ball. Kirshner coming down against Ivkovic. Kirshner trying to get set for a shot if he can get some space, and finally loses possession. The Atlanta-Minnesota game may not be played tonight because of bad weather. Are you ready for that? In August. Must be. I wonder if Hurricane Allen is still fooling around down there. You know, Brian, the Drillers had really been going a storm for us on CFRN television. Did you know that they had won 5 in a row for us prior to the loss to the Cosmos?
I didn't, I'll know.
Yeah, we had victories. I was just looking at it today. We had victories over Fort Lauderdale, Minnesota, Toronto, let's see, Philadelphia and San Diego, all in a row. So they were becoming a very good television product. There's good body contact. Number 12, Jim Polahan and Ron Klinkenberg. And they never like what the referee has to say, Tony Evangelista.
Well, that's been called against Polahan. On Ron Klinkenberg. There was a free kick to Edmonton.
Free kick for Edmonton with 25 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in regulation time. The Drillers lead by 1. They'll be off to Portland tomorrow. And Brian, you'll be off to England tomorrow. Hope you have a good trip.
Thank you, Al. Looking forward to it. The football season's just started over there, so I'll catch a couple of games, all being well.
Back in time, hopefully, for the Drillers playoff game. You know, Eddie Kirshner has the record for one season, but the Drillers have really been scoring of late. Kirshner has 38 points, but Jan Guzens and Dwight Lodevegas each have 21. Dwight getting 7 consecutive penalty goals, of course. Heinlein and Nogley. Heinlein has 20 points. Tenkata, of course, picked up another point tonight for the goal. Good save that time by Schwartz. Foul bounces back out to Sweeney. Sweeney tried to chip it through for Ostrom, and finally does on the second endeavor. Ostrom gives it to Klinkenberg. Klinkenberg popping it through. This is Big Eddie Kirshner. Oh, and he left it for Heinlein. Heinlein missed it. Then Bailon beats Tenkata to the ball. This is Big Bailon. Popping it forward. Ostrom dropping back to put a defensive maneuver on Ercole. Ercole leaving it for Centroni. Back to Ercole. These Lancers are, they're threatening. This is Ercole, long rising shot, too high.
What was happening there, you could see the defense was backing in. They gave him room to cut into the middle and hit the ball with his right foot over the crossbar.
With 25 minutes remaining in the second half, the score, Edmonton 1, Rochester nothing. Back to the action here in Rochester, and there's a shot of our broadcast vantage point here at Hollander Stadium. The fellow well-dressed in the jacket is me. The shirt sleeve fellow on my left is Brian Rice. And out on the field, we had a substitution just a moment ago by the Rochester Lancers. They have taken the big guy out of the game, Chico Balon, their 205-pound striker. Number 18, they've replaced him with number 6, Dragoslav Yaha, Y-A-H-A Yaha, a Yugoslavian. He played at Red Star Belgrade. He's 27 years old. No goals, no assists on the season, but he's now in the game, and there he is, number 6, Yaha. In blue and gold, it's the Rochester Lancers, but a bad pass there. I don't know who it was intended for, but Perdi Alaya played it easily.
It was a terrible ball, actually. If it was fed through to nobody at all. Perdi just came out and retrieved the ball, passed it off to Andre Oostrom.
This is Oostrom. One of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. To Dwight Lowe to Vegas. Back to Alaya. I hope Drillers don't go into that defensive shell of theirs. I like them better when they're attacking.
Yeah, they're playing comfortably, really. I mean, it hasn't been the all-time classic soccer game by a long way, but they're playing very comfortably within themselves. They haven't really given Rochester much opportunity to score a goal.
Didn't you feel, Brian, they kind of went into too much of a defensive posture against the Cosmos in the overtime? A little bit.
They may have possibly been playing for the shootout, which they're very good at, as you know. And they came within 5 minutes, of course, of achieving that.
That's Sweeney doing some good work down there. He really got tackled hard by Sutevsky, number 22. He gets the ball to Guzins, but Guzin's pass was not sharp. And Ivkovic puts it across field. But the Drillers realize if they have possession of the ball, nothing too much untoward can happen. Tuxa and Lodovegas piling it up, but Tuxa's looking for a penalty. They sure like to play act a little. Oh, they're like bowling pins now. Bernie James sends one of the boys down. Number 15, Pat Ercole went for a spill. Crowd booing Bernie James now, but it didn't look like a foul to me. Now we have a foul instead called against number 6, Dragoslav Yaha, and Yaha doesn't like it. Evangelista looks like a tough customer there, the referee.
It's getting a little bit critical right now, Al.
And I'll tell you, the fans are all standing up, as you can see on your screens. The partisan Rochester fans are all with Mr. Yaha on his argument. Let's have a look at Bernie James. Here's the James play.
Right.
Was that a dangerous tackle?
It was a 50-50 thing, I think, because it was a good tackle in that he got the ball, but to get the ball, he did lunge, he threw himself, and, you know, a referee might call that, mightn't call it. As it happened, the referee let the play go on.
Would you have called it?
No, I don't think so. It's a credibility thing, really, and it's a 1-0 game, and if it's an iffy situation, I think you've got to let the ball go away.
Number 28, there's Philip Clark, the linesman, talking with the head official, Tony Evangelista. I guess Evangelista probably asking for an opinion from Clark. The fans, as you can see, getting very disturbed here in Hollander.
Bernie James got a red card, we believe.
And James gets a red card, and I can't understand a referee changing his mind like that.
I called him, he hasn't even given him a yellow card
Bernie
yet.
James is really unhappy. He's getting a red card, puts him out of the game, and he just can't believe it. Now he wants to get at Clark, because obviously it was the linesman Clark who talked Evangelista into that red card for Bernie. Now Bernie's teammates are subduing him, but Bernie James is really unhappy. I can't blame him. Whatever happened to the yellow card?
That's absolutely a crazy call. It really is. Just unbelievable.
From no call to a red card.
That's right. I mean, the referee doesn't even call it a foul, either direct or indirect. Doesn't give them the chance. He lets the play come on. The play comes down here, and there's other players involved. He then stops the play, goes back, talks to the actual linesman, and rather than cautioning Bernie or showing him a yellow card, he gives me a red card.
Ludicrous.
I just don't understand it. Can't understand the reasons why.
Here's a cooler head coming onto the field, Timo Liakowski, but Bernie James will be out of the game. But Timo won't be happy with this. Here he comes striding onto the field. He may finish up thrown out of the game, too. Now, he's telling the referee, Evangelista, that Timo better watch out or he'll be... There's a red card for Timo. Now things are going bad. Now Timo's out of the game, too. I don't blame him for being mad. Now Jay Hoffman will be in charge.
But they've got to watch it out because they can't have any more ejections.
Because of the injuries, they haven't that many players. Evangelista has now red-carded Bernie James and coach Timo Liakoski. And Liakoski is really hot. But you can't now. Eddie Kirchner and Andre Ostrom, Hank Tenkata, John Webb all trying to cool down coach Liakoski. Let's have a look at Bernie's again. At best, it was just a foul, maybe.
Well, yeah, it was a 50-50 situation. He may have called a penalty kick because it was in the penalty area. Now, you can see that Benny lunges right here. But it was a good slide tackle. He's going for the ball. The man's coming across at him. He retrieves the ball. He plays on. The referee didn't whistle that infraction.
No, he didn't.
That wasn't whistled. The play came on.
Philip Clark did it all.
Right, well, it came down the field here, and then there was a mix-up down at the centre spot here. The referee stops the play, then goes over to the linesman, and for some reason, the linesman must have convinced him that Bernie James made a dangerous play, and they send him off. It's just crazy.
I don't understand. There's the guy, Philip Clark, number 28, the linesman. What I can't understand, though, is going from nothing to a red card. Never touching yellow card.
Well, there's somebody else being given a card.
Uh-oh. They could blow the game, though, here, Brian.
Yeah,
with too many,
I think Jan Goosen's just been given a card as well, but not a red one. He got a yellow card there.
Now Goosens has a yellow card. I'll tell you, let's look at the substitution situation. Paul Rowe is on the bench, number 23 tonight. We also have Ross Ungaro, number 11, on the bench. And that's all.
Yeah, because we have, of course...
Because of the injuries. Now, that could be a problem. It's interesting. Live from Rochester, this is Edmonton Drillers Soccer. We're back at Rochester, and the tempers are still flaring. Number 29, referee Tony Evangelista, still being berated by coach Timo Liakoski, who has already been red-carded, thrown out of the game, as has number 20, Bernie James, after no call was made at all by Evangelista initially, and then linesman Philip Clark, after a conference with Evangelista, obviously convinced him that it was a red card foul, and Bernie James is out of the game, Timo Liakoski's out of the game, Jan Goosens has been yellow-carded, and the Drillers have two substitutes on the bench in Paul Rowe and Ross Ungaro, both North Americans, fortunately.
That's right. I'm just wondering, Al, as well, it's an interesting situation because Bernie James, of course, is a citizen. He's taken out of the game. That means they only have two citizens actually playing on the field.
Well, they can, of course, they'll have to put Ungaro or Rowe in the game.
Well, that's right, but that would make a substitution, possibly. I don't know what the ruling is on that.
There goes Liakoski. And I'll tell you, he talked to John Webb, the captain of his team. Jay Hoffman is still there, the assistant coach, to handle things. But the Drillers could run into real problems with personnel here with 22 minutes and a half remaining in the game, and they only lead 1-0. Now, let's see. Did number 11 Ungaro come in, or number 23 Paul Rowe?
I don't believe so, no.
Now, why wouldn't you put one of them in? That's what I don't understand.
Well, you can't make a substitution because of a man being sent up. They've got to play with 10 men right now.
Exactly. But I thought they might have to substitute to keep the Canadian citizenship factor right.
Yeah, I thought perhaps they would do, but obviously they don't have to. So they're just playing with 10 men right now.
Let's figure it out. We've got citizens. We've got Loda Vegas out there as a citizen. We've got
Mike Sweeney.
We got Mike Sweeney's a citizen. Who's the other citizen?
That's it. It stops right there, I believe.
Oh, with 10, maybe you only need 2.
I don't know, Al. I really don't know. Obviously that's the case because they haven't made any substitutions.
Well, they're playing with 10 men now, and obviously you need 3 citizens normally. Maybe when you lose a man, you only need 2. Obviously that's the case because they did not make a substitution of either Rowe or Ungaro to get enough citizens. So Drillers playing a man short now. This is Webb. John Webb cut off at the pass there by number 25 Ivkovic. He got very physical there. Drillers might protest that call. It didn't look that bad on Bernie James. The ball is through to Stojanovic. Stojanovic being checked by Ostrom. And the ball goes over the line. It'll be Rochester ball. Sometimes when you play a man short, Brian, you were telling me, the team rises to the occasion.
That's right, they do. They'll dig down and find some extra energy, and oft times you can find them playing better.
That looked like a handball against number 6, I thought, but maybe not.
Right, he was doing his Oscar bit as well, then trying to get a penalty kick.
Yaha was trying to go down and get a penalty kick in the goal area. Brian's busily checking the NASL rule book. Well, we just haven't hit the situation before to have to know about the citizenship factor when you are a man short.
I've got it right here. It
What does
says
it say?
basically that should a non-citizen be ejected from the game, the maximum number of non-citizens permitted on the field shall be reduced by 1.
Well, this was a citizen who was ejected,
Right.
Bernie James. How about if a citizen's ejected? Does it say something about a citizen being ejected?
Well, the ruling says that no more than 16 players may be selected for a game and entered on its lineup card, and it says no more than 10 of the 16 players may be non-citizens, and no more than 8 non-citizens may be on the field at any one time. Should a non-citizen be ejected from the game, the maximum number of non-citizens permitted on the field shall be reduced by 1.
That covers
At
it.
the end of the 1980
That covers it. You only need 2 citizens when you're playing with 10.
favorite, and you can vote for your
So
favorite.
the Drillers are legal right now with 2 citizens on the field out of their total of 10. And we have 20 minutes and 15 seconds remaining here in the second half. The Drillers leading by 1, trying to hold on, playing a man short against a Rochester team that have lost 7 of their last 8 and would dearly love to post a win before the hometown crowd at Hollander tonight. The ball pumped ahead to Stutevsky. Stutevsky going by Sweeney. The one thing the Drillers can't afford to lose is any more players. This is Kirchner putting on a good rush. Big Eddie Kirchner, one of the German connection. Oh, and he's pulled down rather hard by Dradoslav Yaha.
That was a crude tackle as well,
That
Al.
was rather crude. We'll see what the call is. Now, we don't need injuries either. Let's have a look at that again, Brian, on replay.
You can see that he's going past. Now, watch where that right leg comes out and goes for the knees here.
Yellow caution card issued to
See?
number 8.
Now, no way he was going for the ball whatsoever. Simply taking the man right out of the play.
He got a yellow card, which I'm not surprised at. That's what James should have got, as a yellow card. There wouldn't have been any problem.
For the first defense. Because that was probably every bit as bad as Benny James's foul.
They're both very similar. If they'd have both got yellow cards, there wouldn't have been any problems at all in the field.
Number 1,
So it's a yellow card against Yaha.
at 1,
Check.
4,
Oh, it's
8, 6,
against Heinlein.
with dinner for 2 at J. Wellington.
Now, Heinlein has a yellow, too. They're handing out cards here like it's a poker game. Here's the little pop. Tenkata almost got possession of that, but it's knocked away by Polahan. He pumps it upfield for Rochester, who trail by 1, and here comes the Lancers. Driving downfield is Centroni. He tried to pump it through, but it didn't make it. Lodovegas knocks it back up near center. Drillers can't keep possession now, but don't forget, they're playing minus a player. Number 22 is Stutevsky. He gets it across for Centroni. Now, another quick little act by Yaha, who goes down trying to draw a foul.
Into the stadium.
This is Guzens.
Lancers would appreciate your
Guzens
cooperation with
leaving it
security guards
for Heinlein.
enforcing this ordinance.
Heinlein drops it over for Webb. We've got 18 and a half minutes remaining. Tenkata has it for the Drillers. If you joined us late, Tenkata scored at 18:36 of the first half. A nice goal. Kirchner and James assisting. And then the fur really began to fly here in the second half, and Bernie James was given a belated red card by referee Tony Evangelista after a conference with linesman Philip Clark. And before the dust had settled, Timo Liakowski was ejected by a red card, and Jan Guzens had a yellow card, and since then, Heinlein's picked up a yellow card. So the Drillers playing a man short, and they're already decimated somewhat by injury, missing Nobley tonight and also missing Ferguson. It'd be a good one to win, certainly, after all the adversity they've struck here at Hollander in Rochester.
Pending a successful appeal, that red card to Bernie James means that the next home game, which would be Seattle, he won't be eligible for. He won't be able to dress for that game unless they appeal it successfully, of course.
How about Timo, too? But Seattle's his hometown. Bernie will hate to miss that game.
Yeah,
That's
he
too
will,
bad. Number 5, Pablo Centroni getting it ahead. Rochester trying to take advantage of the extra man. Stutevsky puts it in front. Good defensive maneuver there. Guzens leaves it for Heinlein. Heinlein a little bit weak that time. The ball's brought back by Stutevsky. This is Mike Sweeney to Guzens. Guzens just barely gets it across to Kirchner. Kirchner leaves it for the overlap. Webb to Tenkata. Tenkata got by and then fell. That didn't look like much.
That's Polahan being called for a tripping infraction on Tenkata.
They call it for tripping, and the Drillers will have possession. We now have 16:40 remaining in the half, in the game, regulation at least. Don't forget the Drillers are at home Friday and Sunday, August 22 and 24, against Seattle and California in that order. They're in Portland next Wednesday to wind up their schedule on the road. And if they can hold on and win tonight, they'll have a 6-9 record on the road. This is Al McCann and Brian Rice. The score, the Drillers 1, the Lancers nothing.
I need a holiday.
We're back to the action here at Hollander Stadium in Rochester, New York. Henk Tenkata has been taken out of the game by the Drillers by Jay Hoffman. And Paul Rowe, number 23, in the game for the first time this season. Paul, number 23, a 20-year-old out of Toronto, 5'8", 150 pounds, making his first appearance of the season in a regular league game. Rowe replaces Henk Tenkata. Drillers, of course, still playing 10 men against 11.
I believe Paul's family are here tonight as well, Al, so that'll be
That's
nice
right.
for him.
There's a look, and Paul's family did come up. Toronto being so close, only about 12 minutes by air. They are here in Rochester tonight for this one, and I'm sure they're happy to see Paul Rowe in the game. We've got 15.5 minutes remaining. The Drillers lead by 1, but they're going to have to play very, very hard because they are short. Guzens loses the ball. John Newsom had it momentarily. It goes over the sideline. Newsom will throw it in. Lancers, number 25, Ivkovic, leaving it for Centroni. Centroni to Satevsky. Satevsky across. The header goes high. A good chance that time for Rochester. A jumping header try by number 7, Mike Stojanovic.
Right, you can see where Mike was beaten on the right wing here. Nice ball comes across. The man is again by himself. He gets a clear header on the goal. Actually doesn't go on the goal. It should have been on the goal, but it wasn't. Clears the crossbar. Goal kick to Edmonton.
Okay, Brian, we have our final contestant for the evening now in our score with Safeway. A $100 grocery voucher up for grabs. Jack Letch of 12324 133 Avenue is our contestant. If the Drillers score while playing short in this final 15 minutes, Jack, you'll have yourself $100 worth of groceries from Safeways. Little bumping going on there near the midfield. Rochester Lancers haven't scored against Perdy Elia so far. Elia looking for his 7th shutout of the season, but he still has to survive for 14 more minutes. Back comes Heinlein. He pops it through. And running it down is Guzens. Guzens being well marked. Drops it back for Kirshner. Kirshner tries to get set for a shot, can't get it away. And Rochester takes over again. There's a good look at Eddie Kirshner, number 9. Top scorer for the Drillers this year with 14 goals and 11 assists for 39 points. 13.5 minutes remaining. Rochester looking for that equalizer. Moving the ball up the left side of the field now. Drillers dropping back on defense. Pablo Centroni has the ball. The ball is across to Satevsky. That's Sweeney checking. Satevsky giving it back for Tuxa. Tuxa's shot hits the leg. Watch out. Here's Stojanovic, but he can't get a good shot away, and Elia makes an easy save.
Right, he didn't basically have good possession. He was leaning back there also. That could have been called for leaning on, but the referee didn't do so.
Let's have another look at it.
Catch this again. You can see this basically where he's leaning back into the as the ball's coming towards him. Andre Houston, he tries to swivel around. He does do so, but doesn't get a clean shot away. It ricochets away off Andre Houston. Elia makes an easy save.
1-0 Drillers on a goal by Tenkata back at 18:36 of the first half. We've got 12.5 minutes remaining now into full-time regulation. This is Sweeney. Mike Sweeney clearing it across for Klinkenberg. Klinkenberg banged it right against the defender. Then has it go off his foot. I believe it'll be... Oh, they're calling a foul against...
Yeah, that's Neppen being called for pushing.
Meppen, an American-born 23-year-old. He's called for pushing. Klinkenberg. Klinkenberg will throw it in.
That's a free kick.
Oh, it's a free kick. They're making it a free kick
It's
situation.
pushing.
Yep. Klink looking over the situation prior to putting it in play. Here it comes. Headed back out again. Number 15 is Ercole. Here they come now. This is Centroni. He tried to get it through to the big guy, Stojanovic, but Ostrom picks it off.
Good play by Andre Houston.
Andre looking good. Now it's Guzens rushing for the ball. Good close-up look at Guzens. He's cut off at the pass by number 17, Newsom. And Newsom relays it to Schwartz, the goalkeeper. This is Satevsky. We've got 11 and a half minutes now. Drillers holding on. They'd like to hold on and pick up 7 points here and close some ground on California and increase some daylight between them and San Diego, who have closed some ground. This is Stojanovic. Stojanovic shoots the ball right directly at the defender. Good hard work by Paul Rowe there. Rowe's finally down in a heap.
Follows the number 15, Pat Ercole.
Let's have another look at that. They called a foul on number 15, Ercole.
You can see where Paul Rowe is tackling him, takes the ball up and brings it forward. It's a 50-50 ball, and there you can see where foot comes out, trips him. Other man's coming in, charging him again.
Paul Rowe's okay, though. He's still up and running again, as you can see. Number 23. The Lancers need one to tie. This is Centroni, an Argentinian. To Satevsky, the Yugoslav. Centroni. Dangerous play, pumping it through for Ivkovic. Ivkovic tried to get it by Klinkenberg, but the ball's over the line.
That's a corner kick to Rochester.
It'll be corner kick Rochester with 10 minutes remaining in regulation time. Pressure mounting on Pertialaya and the rest of the Drillers. Ivkovic pumps it out in front for Satevsky. And the shot goes way over.
Yeah, he just seemed to toe in that ball, and the ball just got away from him, up over the players in front of him, right over the crossbar.
Now with 9.5 minutes remaining in the second half, the score Edmonton 1, Rochester nothing. Here at Hollander Stadium in Rochester, New York. It's 1-0 for the Edmonton Drillers, who are playing a man short. There's 9 minutes remaining in the game. The Drillers, if you joined us late, lost Bernie James on a red card foul. Timo Liakoski also got the old ejection thumb, and Jan Guzens picked up a yellow card and was subsequently put under a lot of pressure. And now the Drillers are trying to hold the fort with 10 men.
That's less than, 9 minutes to go in the game, Aaron. They're playing quite well, as mentioned. They just got to watch it. It's one goal, and then the game gets tied. They go into overtime and shootout. And,
that's right. It's funny how it almost got away, because of all nights, they're not very well staffed on the bench because of the injuries to Nogley and Ferguson.
That's right.
Here comes the cross. Dangerous, but Perdialai is there. Comes rushing out to make a play. Then slows down the action. There's Henk Tenkata watching the action. He was substituted for Paul Rowe came in to replace Tenkata. Tenkata scored the goal, by the way, a very nice goal, too.
Yeah, it was a nice goal. Well taken.
Paul Rowe just lobs the ball back to Alaya, realizing that now running that clock down is the key thing. There's less than 8 minutes now. This is our final regular league telecast. We certainly have enjoyed bringing Drillers soccer action to you. Our 16th game on CFRN. Thanks to the Canadian Sports Network. Producer John Shannon, Director Billy McCoy, and all the gang.
Yeah, that John's a great fan of Chinaglia's New York Cosmos.
Is that any relation to Quinalia?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, Mike Sweeney popping it in.
For age 14 and under, with a 2-1 victory.
Ball popped back, and now you can bet that there's going to be aggressive offense now from the Rochester Lancers. The time's starting to tick away on them. They only have 7 minutes left to get the equalizer, and they're frustrated too because they have the man advantage. This is Ivkovic. He gets it across for Satevsky. Nice move by Satevsky. And then Lodovegas dives and clears the ball.
Edmonton are covering well, Al. When the one man is beaten, there's another man right there behind the player with the ball. Good covering all the while.
They're playing very hard, good physical defense, and running on that thick grass must be awfully tiring. The ground is very hard underneath, and the grass is quite thick. This is Rochester on offense in the Edmonton zone. Back outside for Nepham. Nepham looking for an opportunity to cross the ball. Here it comes, dangerously. Oh, Sweeney missed it. A wild shot, and when Sweeney missed it, it created a dangerous chance.
It did. It was a half-volley shot taken by, I believe, Stojanovic, but he put the ball wildly over the top. We can see this again.
Let's look at it. I think it was Stojanovic who had that chance.
This is where the ball initially comes across.
Sweeney tries to clear it.
He does. The ball's headed away, as you can see there, by Andre Oostrom. Mike misses the ball in trying to clear it. It's then headed back into the middle. Stojanovic catches the ball in the half volley, but goes wildly over the top.
Rochester have had that problem tonight. They've been wild on several occasions when they had fairly good scoring chances, like that being a prime example. 5,480, the announced attendance, very, very low, and there's no wonder there's talk that this is the last season of NASL soccer here in Rochester. They have not drawn well. They're averaging something around 8,000. But now they are almost out of the contention with 11 wins and 16 losses. They're last place in their division. And I think some interest has been lost. Now we have Kirchner down, and he's hurt. Kirchner's hurt his ankle. And that's really bad news with the team having to go to Portland to play on Wednesday.
Here's an Oscar Award nomination by Eddie here as well. He gets tripped, there's no question, but you can see he's flying through the air.
Let's watch that ankle. He comes down on his knee. He might twist it coming down, but I don't know.
I think he was holding his shin there, but he was taken down, no question, but he kind of dives as he's going down.
Well, I'll tell you, a lot of these soccer players would do very well in Hollywood. Number 15 is Ercole. We now have only 5 minutes remaining in regulation time. Drillers holding on to a 1-0 lead. Tenkata's goal in the first half. And the Drillers have played with only 10 men for the last several minutes since losing Bernie James. Here comes the Lancers. Number 12 moving the ball is Polahan putting it through. Lodovegas dives out there to deflect it. Webb pumps it ahead. Fine line on the run. There's a whistle on the play.
I don't know why the referee would do that. Klaus has still got possession of the ball.
Centroni did something, I guess.
Yeah, he did. He held him back. But Klaus had possession of the ball, was breaking clear of the man. The referee whistles the play and brings it back, rather than leaving him with possession of the ball.
That's where the foul actually hindered the Drillers.
That's correct.
This is Kirchner. Kirchner putting the ball forward. Guzens. Jan Guzens, number 17, has 7 goals on the year. Drillers thinking defense for the most part. This is Klinkenberg. Klinkenberg cutting in, gets around his man. Good move. And then he's pulled down in the goal area. Oh, that could have been pretty close to a penalty shot, but no, nothing comes of it. 3 minutes and 37 seconds the Drillers have to hold on now if they hope to pick up 7 valuable points. 6 points for the win and 1 point bonus for the goal by Tenkata. Watch out. Here's Stojanovic. Stojanovic trying to get clear. Drops it back outside. The ball's cleared a little too far, actually, but it's picked up by Ivkovic. Ivkovic makes a move, tries to get clear, can't get a shot away. Ivkovic dropping it off for Centroni. Centroni well checked in there. Centroni's cross, dangerous. Alaya touched it, and then John Webb headed it out for a corner kick.
That could almost have been a goal there. Patey got his hand on the ball and was coming back, and John Webb was there and headed the ball behind for a corner kick.
2 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Here's the corner kick. John Webb stops it. It stays in play. Good break for the Drillers, and they move it up to Heinlein. Heinlein just fires it downfield to relieve the pressure somewhat. Perdi Alaya, who has played 2 games in a row very well. He was outstanding in against the Cosmos in defeat. And he's played very solidly in this game tonight in Rochester. Here comes the Lancers again, trailing 1-0. Here comes the cross, headed away by Lodovegas. Caught there by Centroni. Squirted over on the right side for Ivkovic. Ivkovic goes to the middleman, Stojanovic. The ball goes across and then over the line.
It's a goal kick, Edmonton.
It's going to be goal kick Edmonton with 2 minutes remaining. So the Drillers just holding on now. If they can hold on and win it with 10, it'll be a great moral victory for them. It'll also be their second win in 3 games on this 4-game road trip.
That's right. Timo, like some of the players, was scared he'd let down because of that game in New York. And the game, of course, hasn't been of the same caliber. But, you know, the main thing is getting the points, and we have 7 of them right now, and it's going to help them awfully in the closing games of the season.
This is Guzens. Leaves it for Webb. John Webb pops it across. Heinlein couldn't pull it down, and back comes Rochester with 1:22 remaining. This is number 25, Ilya Ivkovic. Ivkovic trying to push it through. It's blocked neatly there, though. And the Drillers again drive it downfield. Rochester Lancers running out of time now. They're down to nearly the last minute. Here comes a long forward. Ostrom heading it. Ball bouncing around near midfield. We now have 54 seconds. Number 19 racing forward is Meffam. He can't pull it down. And the clock running, 45 seconds and counting. And the Drillers holding on with 10 men. This will be a marvelous win for the team. And will put them in very, very good playoff position with just 3 games remaining. The road game in Portland next Wednesday, and then that homestand Friday, August 22nd, Seattle Sounders. Sunday, August 24th, California. 2 big games, and of course, the tickets will be on sale. You can phone the Drillers office for, there's Peter Nogley, helping coach. Jay Hoffman, of course, is handling the team since the red card ejection of Timo Liakoski. And now the time is ticking down. Less than a half minute to go, and the Drillers have possession. And it's placed whistle down there. Guzens, number 17.
Foul number 12, Jim Pollahan.
The foul is against Jim Pollahan, the captain of the Rochester Lancers, and the fans starting to abandon Hollander Stadium now.
There's 10 seconds. Alice should be the game, all being well.
Heinlein will put it in play. Time ticking down. Now we're in the last 10 seconds. This is Kirchner, and the Drillers have done a good job. They're going to win playing short, and that's going to be a good moral victory. And there it is. The Drillers have done it. A big win for them. They win it by a score of 1-0, and certainly it was good defense, and despite their problems there in the second half, they made it. So the final score, Edmonton 1, Rochester 0. We'll return in a moment.
What a haul.
Very nice evening here in Rochester. We're out on the press box roof now. The game is over. The Drillers won it 1-0, and a big win for them on a good goal by Tenkata, Brian.
It was a nice goal by Tenkata, Al. It was scored early in the game. It was the only goal of the game. He broke forward on a pass from Eddie Kirchner, took the ball into the penalty area, and was using Jack Guzens as a decoy. The defender on the play was backing in. Hank saw the opening, made a nice low shot into the far corner of the net and gave them the 1-goal victory.
And then it was just play tough defense all the way, and when they lost Bernie James, it made it doubly tough.
Well, it was a very hard physical game, really. What they did, they went out and did the job they had to do. They got the victory they needed. They got the 7 points, and really, it stands them in very good stead for the remaining games. That game against California, the last game of the season, could be for the division championship.
Well, I'll tell you, they're in pretty good shape. They won 2 out of 3. They proved to be a pretty formidable side on the road.
Oh, they play well now. They're playing as a unit. Earlier on in the season, the actual offense would go in fits and starts, and then the defense would. Now they're playing as a unit. They help each other out. They cover for each other. They're doing a good job.
Well, being our last telecast, I'm looking forward to them making the playoffs because, you know, anything can happen come playoff time, Brian.
Oh, that's right. Well, we've seen them play against the New York Cosmos and take them to overtime. Chicago Sting, they beat them once, and we're beaten the last minute of the game, the other game. So, you know, they've got the ability.
Well, they sure have. Brian, I know that you're off now for a little holiday in England. I certainly hope you and your wife, Rose, have a good time, and you're back in time for the big playoff game.
That's right. Looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to it. This is the wrap-up now. 16 games we brought you. I hope you've enjoyed the soccer on CFRN. We've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you, and don't forget, we'll be there come playoff time when the Drillers are involved, and I'm sure they're going to be. Now, these are the people that made Drillers soccer possible through the season, including Fred Voss, our Edmonton producer. We'll see you back in Edmonton.
button up your overcoat. I'm